Welcome to the grand finals of the first tournament of 2020, Maincast's Winter Brawl. I'm here in the studio, all alone. I guess everyone is drunk after New Year's party. You know, here in Ukraine, they celebrate on 31st, then they celebrate for the next 5 days, then it's the Orthodox Christmas on 7th, then you celebrate for extra 3 days. But even though there's no one here with me, I do have someone on the line. KP, are you there?
Yeah, hi. Remember that we charge you $5 per minute. This is not a cheap line for when people are lonely on the 5th New Year's of Ukraine.
All right.
How's it go?
It's going well. I just took a break, went to grab some water, and while I was getting the water, the makeup was telling me that her boyfriend broke his leg during the New Year or something. You know, it's
During
wild.
the fourth night of New Year, right?
During the fourth night, yeah. So it's wild here. There's a lot of stuff happening. I'm just happy I'm alive still. That's all.
Well, it's Darwin theory over there, right? Like survival of the fittest. If you can't make it through all 5 nights of New Year's partying, then you're gonna get injured, maybe even die. And I feel like survival of the fittest is appropriate for FlyToMoon. Is this Viper getting picked right at the start? I feel like it kind of threw OG Seed off for the next 2 picks.
I mean, you don't ban that Viper early on. It's bound to be picked. However, in the last few series, he even went through the picking and the banning stage without being banned out. So, interesting.
Yeah.
Also, FlyToMoon, when they picked up that Viper, they instantly snatched Rubik too. So you don't have that Nether Toxin to work against you, right? Usually what we see is a normal answer to the Viper is the Rubik. You snatch that Rubik, you steal the Nether Toxin. Suddenly Viper is just a creep. He dies in his own spit. We have a Wisp as well picked up by FlyToMoon. Not something they have played today, but it will be interesting to watch them do it.
No, and these teams are definitely like they're responding to each other's drafts heavily. Because I feel like when you pick the Viper, right, like OGC, they don't want Viper and Puck on the same team. So they take it, but usually Puck is a good pick early because it's flexible, right? There's no way in hell you lane this against the Viper now. And then the IO to block pick the Gyro IO combo, which then forces out the easy disruptor pick to counter the IO.
Which OG Seed was playing today, right? They did go for that Wisp Gyrocopter earlier. And Disruptor, even though it's a good counter, like you said, to IO, he's also pretty decent versus Lark because you have that Static Storm to work with, right? And Kinetic Field. Later on in the game, if you manage to get that Aghanims, it can be amazing for you and your teammates. And that usually does happen in this current patch. And also Disruptor has been buffed overall, so in the laning stage he's much stronger, as that Thunderstrike slows you every time it connects to. When it comes to the other heroes, Puck and Abaddon, what do you think? This Abaddon must be offlane for them, right? For OGC.
It's got to be an offlane one, yeah. I think this must be a Puck 4. I can't see how you could ever run this as a 2.
Yeah.
You just get destroyed, right? Like I don't see a situation unless you are massively outplaying Viper in which you beat Viper.
No, you mean Puck shouldn't be 2, right?
Yeah, Puck shouldn't be 2.
Well, we'll see. I think you're right as well. 2 or that position 3. I don't think you could even. The difficulty is even if you put Abaddon on that 3, it's against the Slark, right? So that can be difficult too.
Yeah, that's the weird part. It's like FlyToMoon, they got the advantage in that lane matchup, but they did basically give more value to and more credence to the disruptor pick, which is why it was a little bit surprising. It'd be interesting to see IO tethered to Slark though. You could imagine a scenario where they just tank out the entire Static Storm.
That's true. You can tank out the Static Storm, but what comes with it is the problem, because if you look at OGC, there's so much AoE, man. You have that Static Storm with the Dream Call from Puck and Gyrocopter's cooldown plus Flak Cannon. There's a bunch of damage coming from OG Seed. So,
yeah, they have what I call a stay boy combo, right? Where you stay, Dream Call, Static Storm, Kinetic Field. You're not going anywhere.
The Stay Boy combo, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, that's the Stay Boy combo. Is a good name for it, you know? So FlyToMoon, they need something that can stay. Maybe something like an Underlord would work.
For FlyToMoon, you mean?
Yeah, but you get counted by the Disruptor again is the problem. There you go. That's a bulky boy.
This is something similar, right? You get this bulky boy that can stand up front, gives you a lot of utility if he goes for those Greaves, Crimson Guards, whatnot. And also just creates that buffer in between you and the Viper and everything else. So, not too bad.
It is a bit more aggressive now in the lane than it used to be, because a lot of off-lane Pied Hunters started skipping their passive. considering you more or less you just have a built-in stout shield now, right? So you don't really feel too bad about it.
What will OG Seed answer with? What could they go for their mid? Especially versus this Viper.
Yeah, there's not many heroes. I feel like you want a hero that can just supplement the jungle very early on.
Or something that's going to outrange him, something that's faster than him. But there aren't many heroes that beat Viper anymore, especially with the changes to his first spell.
And even ones that like inferior shields, things like Sniper that people think of, they get countered because Shrapnel gets used against you with the corrosive skin. So outranging is definitely hard. I'm trying to think what they're lacking right now, because they don't really have a good... Well, they got a Baden for the front line, right? But Gyrocopter hasn't got this IO or Lich or something that tanks him up as well. So it's going to be hard for him to frontline alongside the Abaddon.
Let's see what OG Seed, yeah. Let's see what they opt to go for. Something that can deal with Tidehunter later on as well would be pretty decent. They don't really have the damage for him. They go, whoa.
Whoa, okay, that's going super late. Holy crap.
That's not only going super late. This Naga Siren should be, in theory, really good versus Viper. Like on that mid lane, Chessie should defeat... Oh, but they switch it up and they put Iceberg on the Tidehunter. Yeah, now OG Seed has to play the next level games and send that Naga Siren safely in and Mother a mid perhaps. Because basically, what happens on this matchup in Viper versus Naga, it's too difficult for Viper to deal with all the illusions, right? You just split into multiple illusions, you attack him and you trade better. Even though he has his first spell and he's able to stack it up on you, the amount of damage that you dish out with all the illusions is just way too much. You can even creep skip if you want to, so that's why they swap it up. Tidehunter, completely different beast. I think Iceberg on Tidehunter can completely dominate the Naga Siren. Also, guys, if you remember, a long time ago there were these players that would go for right-click damage on Tidehunter. Solar Crest, Desolator, plus 350 damage, easy game.
Iceberg's one of those, yep. So very likely you see that.
It's 250, right? 250 is level 25, and Techies, just to be better, is 251, something like that.
Because they wanted to make it, slightly more reasonable to pick than Tidehunter. Didn't work out, surprisingly enough. But I also love the combo of Rubik Viper, because you have a lift with the slows, and more importantly, the Fade Bolt with the magic resistance reduction becomes a potent nuke.
And lately, we've seen a lot of Vipers being picked even as position 4s, or 5s even. So nothing out of the ordinary to pick a Viper and send him on offlane. How hard can it be? You just spam your first spell and Nether Toxin, you're fine. You're good.
Yeah. That was the interesting thing as well, because when I saw the Tidehunter as the final pick, I thought FlyToMoon had kind of given up part of their surprise, their draft, because this is one of the teams that has ran the 5 Viper. But the switch up of Tide to mid still catches OG off guard a little bit and forces them into an unfavorable matchup.
That's why it's so good to have flexible lineups, right? To have multiple players that can play multiple roles on multiple heroes. Suddenly they pick a counter to a Viper, no problem. We put the Viper on the offlane and we roll back the Tidehunter mid. So really good for FlyToMoon. We'll see if it's good enough as we go into this game 2 of FlyToMoon versus OG Seed.
Yeah, OG Seed going with something a little bit more traditional for the most, except for the puck, while FlyToMoon seemingly embracing the new patch a lot more. I'm interested to see what the IO especially will achieve, because I like the idea of a right-click Tide as your primary tether in the mid-game, at least.
There are many targets, right? Like, even the Slark is pretty good. If you can help him.
Slark, Viper, or Tide as well.
Viper as well, if he gets gone on and you enable him to survive a couple of extra seconds, he suddenly is that beast that's killing you instead. When it comes to odds, OG Seed 1.55, FlyToMoon 2.35 on GG bets, so OG Seed still favored a little bit even after losing that game 1.
Yeah, that's quite surprising as well. I mean, in fairness, Chessie has a more stable hero that isn't like susceptible to this volatility that Puck sometimes has. So that variable is less concerning. And they do, in theory, have a better late game, right? If they get that hyper late game.
But KP, check these lanes out. Zibe, he went mid. He's playing the Abaddon versus Iceberg. And then Naga is on the off lane and Gyrocopter is on the safe lane. They switched everything up in response to this Tidehunter mid pickup.
Not a bad choice. At the same time, Zibe, he won't do great on this lane, right? Like, Tidehunter will still assert dominance as you are a melee hero alone against this.
No, definitely. That's true.
I love what Iceberg was doing there as well. He blocked him from reaching the range creeps to ensure he gets less gold out at the start of this lane.
I think this top lane is also pretty good for OG Seed. You're playing versus Wisp plus Slark with Disruptor and Gyrocopter. As long as you're not completely out of position and low on Gyrocopter, you should be able to just spam them down. Wisp is generally considered to be a hero that can heal up any single lane and usually wins the resources war, right? However, in this particular match, you're versus a Disruptor.
What? Jesse's just done. There's no escape from this.
Is that?
Too much slow, too much nuke. And the final hit comes out. First blood drawn by General.
General is like, go back mid, Jesse, you're drunk. You're drunk, sir. What are you doing here?
Like, well, I just want some fun. And the problem is, this is kind of the weakness of Puck, right? Is if you don't have a good aggressor at level 1, then it backfires very easily.
Pexu top lane is dropping pretty low too. Few more hits.
One more hit will do it.
Yeah.
Move is good enough, especially with the extra movement speed the IO contributes. It just allows V2 to jump on top of him. And
yeah, basically what happened is he tried to go and break the salve on Wisp, but that salve was running out anyway, so he just wasted his life. Happens on the mid lane as well. Tidehunter 11-0 versus 8-2 on Abaddon. Zibe, this is pretty much the time of the game in which he can sort of pressure the Tidehunter, but not for long.
no, and it just evens out. It's not you getting a winning trade, it's more you just getting a balance in the trade. Which is a little bit worrying considering you look at these two heroes, which one is going to scale better by the 10-20 minute mark? It's definitely the Tidehunter.
You think?
Out of gold value, sure. Like, I think out of raw value, if you don't get gold, Abaddon is better, right? Because you always have the aphotic shield to save.
I think Abaddon is more of a nuisance overall, and that's why Slayer is rotating mid to perhaps try and change that, but Zibe is just way too strong, and Pexu dies.
It's all just a ruse. Slayer was only level 1 when he made that rotation. I think he's jumping the gun a little. He at least needs the lift to have some kill potential in this lane. Or in any lane. General, so far being left alone, hasn't really been punished for it, as he is now 2 levels above Chessie, as he just evens it up to 1 level gap. Z-Freak, alright. We'll move away. 1 more hit would have killed him. He barely survives that.
Yeah, 30 HP in the end, but does survive, and he's able to move back, perhaps TP back into the lane afterwards. This is a difficult lane for Puck, even on position 4, as the dots from Viper just mess with you. Overall, dots versus Puck are really good. You're super evasive, but you're at the same time super squishy, and if he spits you a couple of times with his Q, suddenly you're on 50% HP or even dead.
Definitely. That's a big part of why when heroes like Jakiro were popular, Puck didn't really see any picks. This is just a natural counter, and they gave enough buffs to Puck that he moved back into the rotation, but it's still, against the Viper, which beats any hero right now, you're just not going to get a better trade.
And Zibe is actually doing fairly well versus the Tidehunter. Only 4 CS behind, and that's because of the creeps in the jungle. Tidehunter is the first one that has been forced to go back and farm the neutral creeps. Pretty well played by Zibe so far.
It's definitely a lane he has to win as well, because Abaddon, unlike the Tidehunter, doesn't have the ability to farm these jungle camps.
And he gets a double damage. Yeah, that will help him out. Top lane Pexu is pulling, but Vitune and Always Wanna Fly, they're gonna go and mess with that, perhaps even farm the stack.
Yeah, Madara doesn't really want to fight, because these two can easily just soak up the rocket barrage between the two of them.
And he had creeps under the tower before, but he doesn't have them any longer, so he pretty much has no option but to fight.
Try and force him away a little bit. Pull the creeps through again. And Zibe, can he actually get this pushed in correctly? Because if he times this right with the DD slowly running out, he could get some serious damage in on the tier 1 tower with the catapults coming.
Bounty runes, OG Seed get 2, and it looks like Vitune will get 1. Right now, at least.
You know, there's 1 left to mature until people remember that you can't mature bounty runes anymore. It used to be that bounties were a little bit like a fine wine, and now they're more like a Twinkie, right? Like, they'll never go out of date, but they won't gain anything left for long periods of time.
Is it true about Twinkie that it never goes out of date, by the way? It always stays the same.
It's a hard one to test,
I mean, more or less.
Yeah. So when Fallout happens and we all get nuked to death, just eat Twinkies. Vitune, He won't need to worry about the fallout. He won't last long enough. Oh, nice jump in by Z-Freak. Blocks the pounce away and always want to fly. Now needs an escape plan. He has got creep to tether to.
He used
still
one.
Cooldown for 4. Rocket Barrage chase down. Nice lift coming out.
He's
We'll
living.
keep the IO alive.
He's living, it seems. Unless Z-Freak manages to snatch him with that orb of
It would
his.
be extremely greedy.
Yeah. Oh,
He sees
he
him.
might.
Nah, it's not worth it.
He thought about it. He thought about it for sure. But with Slark being there, he would feed more gold than he would get in any case. So it's good he didn't go for it.
Iceberg though is coming up. He's hasted.
But there's no follow-up. Right now, he's pretty much alone.
There he is. Moving across. He needs the IO to convene with him. The kinetic field is going to be thrown down, and it's looking like a complete waste of rotation.
Wisp is here, but he didn't use his ulti. Perhaps if he used the ulti, the follow-up from Wisp would be enough, but yeah.
No, I feel like a little bit of a desperate rotation. Like, he knows he can't do anything on mid. He's got this big ultimate. He just wants to throw it out. But after the aggression comes out on your side of the map, you know your heroes aren't positioned aggressively to try and capitalize on a rotation. He's not those type of heroes. And Zibe wants to dive on the tower.
Yeah, Slayer is trying to just defend it, right? Usually this is what happens. Around that 5-minute mark, you have the Carti, and they're trying to push with the Carti, and then you just put the support there to outpush and pull the creep waves, but they...
Although, they just use the borrowed time. They need to get out right now because Iceberg is ready to fight. Madara is caught onto. Ravage being thrown out. Z-Freak moves into it, trying to get the silence out. It doesn't clip in time, but no, he does get the kill before the rocket hits him in the face. Now Taidan needs to retreat. Kinetic field to trap him in. Io's going to try and heal him up. Zibe has got the passive out. No, it gets debuffed off though because it took too much damage, and Zibe needs to retreat because he still doesn't have the borrowed time.
Man, always on the fly. He
wants this so badly.
And he just saved that Tidehunter so badly. And they also got the gyro kill. A little bit too much greed from OG Seed, but they're trying to be aggressive as their papas, as the real OG. They're trying to 5-man this tier 1 8 minutes in. It backfired this time around, but they're going straight back in. Why not? There's no Ravage this time around.
Ravage gone now. Borrowed time is almost off cooldown. So this time it will fall. And that's only at the 8-minute mark, so that enables them to get out to the out lanes in prep for the outpost as well. So nothing lost, just gains.
Z-Freak is here. He's level 3. Does have that silence to work with, but he can't really pressure this Slark. Has no backup anyway, so he just continues farming on the top lane.
Yeah, now that Slark has 6, it's pretty hard to approach. You need a static storm, and Pexu's still only level 3. Long, long way off before you have that initiation.
OG Seed took the first tier 1, even though when you look at their lineup, they have this Naga and the Gyrocopter. It looks like a very, very greedy lineup, right? With not a lot of utility, but so far they're making it work. They're utilizing the Abaddon and his strength coming off of that mid lane, super farmed and super leveled.
Yeah.
And he's going again.
The problem is they have to keep finding kills though. That's the worrying part. Viper throws out Viper Strike on the Pexu. We'll turn around and fight, and Zibe has to pop that borrowed time and just retreat. Like you mentioned, they're trying to leverage this advantage that Baden had. The worry is that it's a lot of room for these calls on FlyToMoon to just keep farming, and the kills are right now in favor of FlyToMoon still.
There's this sweet spot in which Naga becomes super difficult to deal with. That's that Diffusal Manta if she gets that super fast, right? And then she can just pop off. Z-Freak on top lane. I think it's...
Yeah, he's got his cooldowns. He's fine.
Oh, what? Is he fine? He's fine. He gets back.
He's absolutely fine. There's nothing the V2 can do. He knows after that amount of time there must be a rotation because OG is showing no one on the map.
Yeah, Zibe is there and it's completely good. They shove him away from this outpost as well, it seems. But there are rotations coming in.
Yep, V2's hanging around here. Kinetic field goes down. Pounce gets blocked by the kinetic field though. They'll go for the capture, but Iceberg will throw out that Ravage. Says, no, you do not, sir. Punk is already down. Disrupt gone as well. And Zibe will retreat, but on the bot lane, the song was used by Chessie just to run the hell away. No XP for you. FPM can secure both.
They got so denied on that top lane by Iceberg. That was beastly Ravage into Pounce, into everything on that Puck and Disruptor. They just destroyed them. Very, very greedy from them to go for that outpost. And usually, you would be able to go for that if you had level 6 on Disruptor, right? But he's level 4. He has only kinetic field to offer in that fight. Maybe if he was close enough to glimpse back the Tidehunter, but not even that was possible. And so far, the odds are still pretty much similar. FlyToMoon 1.55, OG Seed 2.35. A little bit favored for FlyToMoon, actually.
It's not surprising either, right? Because like you just saw what happened with those outposts, but what's going to happen in the next outpost? If you get tugged around like this, they have the reload power, so they could easily fight on both outposts again.
It's happening, by the way. Iceberg is going for the damage build. I can blame him too. I like it. He's going for the Desolator. He wants to be as active as possible early on. And you know what? Iceberg, with this Tidehunter, if he gets a lot of farm early on, he can be the way for them to deal with the Naga as well, and her illusions. Those illusions just die so easily to a farmed right-click Tidehunter.
True.
Glimpse
Especially with the assistance of the Viper. Glimpse onto the Rubik. Reinforcements are coming in now. Zebe should be able to run down the nets. All the cores converge on the mid lane for a Rubik kill.
He had a good plan. He stole that Aphotic Shield to cast it on himself, but a bit too slow to get out of the Static Storm to use it.
I guess the other thing to look at here is usually you see people skip Bombast now because of the Vampire Fang potential. But I kind of like the fact that Iceberg done it because it's so much lifesteal in a burst. It's almost like having a little mech on yourself.
Bottom lane. General.
Need a little bit too deep. Dream Call connects, and that's good enough. There is a TP in from Slayer. They're trying to punish this with a reload in. They're going on Madara. They will activate the Shadow Dance to chase forward. In the meantime, they find the pick off the Disruptor. They need to get the Madara kill, though. Zebe blocks them off, and they'll have to stop there.
He had no pounds there to work with, but even if he had it, there's Abaddon, there's Gyro next to him. You have to go for Gyro, but then he just gets shielded off and protected by Abba, so it wasn't really an easy play to make there for Vtune.
And that was the first preview we got of what happens with IO against Disruptor, right? The glimpse back. It shows you how important it is for FlyToMoon to find the Disruptor first in a fight.
It's glimpse back or the setup for the Static Storm, right? It's always easy. So when you're playing Wisp versus Disruptor, you have to be very careful when it comes to choosing the right position to relocate to. Sometimes it's safer to relocate far away from the fight or somewhere behind your teammates so that you don't get set up on by the Static Storm and everything else that they've got.
Yeah, and that loses half of the potency of reload, right? Usually you make it very obvious in people's faces. So instead of trying to stand and fight your teammates, they go, okay, we just need to retreat.
Bottom lane Madara is trying to push this, but they have rotated General in again. He's playing like he's playing this Viper like he would play any other offlaner. He's tanking up. You can see he's going for a pipe, travels, raindrops, and he's pretty much being that front liner that prevents them from taking any free objectives. And I like that a lot because that's exactly what they need right now.
And they have the Ravage. What they want is a kill. Chessie, Song could be used, but he doesn't need it. The Dream Cool, hold him on the spot. I just thinking about using that Ravage. The Dream Cool is stolen, used against him. General with the wraparound.
Oh,
the Song does come out in time, but they're dying in the dots. They'll already lose Peksu, and Chessie will go for the TP out. Zebe is pretty deep. Chessie will just about get away. Nice snipe out by Z-Freak. He's running out of mana, needs to make his escape quickly. V-Tune's already hunting.
He sees
TP
him
pounce off cooldown and V-Tune. He looks wrong.
It's difficult in that spot right there. It's a bit difficult, and he messed it up, but pretty well played by both of them. Sleep on one side. The Ravage looked really good. The Ravage and the Nether Toxin taking care of Disruptor, but not anyone else. And Naga, it almost looked like Rubik will be able to lift her up before that TP is done. Luckily for her, Puck is there to silence, to orb out and TP away.
And now Puck has that Veil online. You can see them ramp up that aggression. They dish out a lot of damage at this stage of the game with the Gyro, with the Disruptor. So even the Viper, that's usually okay with that magic damage coming his way, will start to feel the pain.
Remember, there's break from the other Toxin. He's gonna have to use it manually.
Yep, Lift will be there though. Where are you going? Back to your fountain by the looks of it, but not of your own volition. Moving to the tree line, he doesn't have the mana for a TP anymore though, and he just walks out into the arms of General. Not quite.
I didn't have mana for the shield. He actually could have lived there if he just had enough mana. Because of that, pounce is just crazy. Vtune, after completely stomping with Slark that first game, the second game he had some questionable jumps, let's call them that way.
He's just getting his fingers warmed up. The Diffuse still has his impact as we've seen against the Abaddon. Can't pass these annoying spells if you don't have the mana to do so. Oh, Iceberg is still farming very competitively. He's getting very close to his Desolator being complete as well. Not a bad game to get your hands on an early Aegis as well. If you stick that in the hands of Slark, he can pounce into the trees, come out again, and dive all the way to the tier 3 towers before missing a pounce again.
Iceberg has to be careful. As you just mentioned, he's getting closer and closer to his Dazzle. Has like 1500 gold on top of a 1 Mithril Hammer. But he doesn't really have a lot of sustain. And they can take care of him super fast if they just use that Veil on him and blow him up. Pexu, Static Storm is used.
Yeah, but he's dead.
Zibe
They have the
is here.
Shadow Dance to work with. Zibe does not want this. Pounce again, a little bit questionable with Vitin. But General's arrived. He went for the boost to travel build, so he's always present. And with the Raya relocate as well, this gets really scary for the side of OG Seed. I've got a lot of damage on Z-Freak now, though. He found the Nevershore plus the Veil. Now he'll find the enemy team and just escape before they can pounce him.
It's difficult to take down this puck, especially with the Abaddon right there by his side. Zibe, however, there's no pounce.
Panther Slayer just holding his Aphotic Shield makes it very hard for him to do anything as well. And Z-Freak, he already used the Illusory Orb. They'll move in.
There's the leash.
Bounces out. He did use the Dream Core, but they can't capitalize on it.
Yeah, that's
Did
a
he
wasted.
steal it? Yep.
That's
Well, it's not wasted in the eyes of Slayer. He just got a freebie.
not only wasted, he also gets one as well. So pretty damn well for FlyToMoon, the way that fight went.
They want to use it as well. They're rotating around the mid area because Iceberg is pushing this tower with the revealed Dessa.
Look at Wisp and Slark. They're just hunting right now. They're basically just searching for Pexu, and Slark does get glimpsed back.
They can reload though. They just don't think it's worth it for a Pexu
They
kill.
are
Instead, they'll
reloading.
go bot for the bigger one. Chesky, they snap the core. Slayer sets up a potential kill, but the song's going to come out. He can TP out as they didn't get through enough of his mana. They could pounce, but it's going to be too late.
Iceberg, mid lane.
In
He does
trouble.
have Ravage.
Might have to blow the Ravage just to run away, but there's the glimpse back. Io has come across to try and help. He's trapped in the Static Storm and just
V2.
dead. Slark is going to try and clean up though. V2 moving in, looking on a Pexu. One more hit would do it. The Shadow Dance to be able to get it. Will tank a stun to the face. A lot of damage coming his way in a sec, but Io is there to mitigate a lot of that. Z-Freak starts to run. Baden in pretty deep, holding that borrowed time. Madara's the target though, with the Tifu coming out, and they still have the pounce to work with. It's going to be hard for Jara to get away. He has that mana. Dream Call to try and lock it down and stop him from chasing. Slark and Io both just snap it for no reason though.
Yeah, the Dream Call snaps and they're unable to continue chasing. But overall, considering they lost Iceberg, they just completely manned up and went into that fray, into that fight. They took down the Disruptor and almost took down Gyro too. Most of teams would just go back, but they definitely understand how strong this Slark is right now. And he's really not being contested all that much at all. He's just farming and getting kills with this relocate, so Vitune is on fire.
Yeah, I love to see it as well, because usually you see these Diffu Slarks, they feel like they should just farm more. Instead, he's like, okay, if I've come for a fighting item, I need to be fighting. I am up against a Jaro and a Naga after all.
And he went for BKBs instantly after the defusal, so super fighting oriented item build from Vitune. Working out so far. What's gonna happen once that Naga gets a couple of items? That's the question though.
What's going to happen in general? They're trying for him, but he dodges that out, moves away, and they're in the pit already. They're trying for Roche. They do need Iceberg here, though. Clark is not meant to tank this.
He's trying, but he's taking so much damage.
Dark Pacting and killing yourself quicker isn't the way.
Iceberg also has that Desolator, which helps out quite a lot. A lot of damage from Iceberg too.
They know what's going on. Zibe is maybe jumping the gun a little here. There's no easy way for you to drop it unless you get the Naga across with the Song combo, maybe.
They
Zibe
have
is
sleep.
leaning in, though, scouting out. They weren't quick enough this. They're holding the Ravage, though, so they could just turn around them very easily. Zibe has to throw it out. Song's been used. They need the combo, and it looks perfect. They can hit free with the Static Storm. Can they kill him off? The cooldown follow-up. General on the side trying to help out however he can, but Io's already down and dead. Like on half HP.
Good
There's
Ravage.
the Ravage coming out. Looking to fight Madara. Lifted up as well. The Dream's going to try and stop them, but it won't. They say, fine, we'll stand our ground. We don't care. Buyback comes out from Gyro. Teammate chasing him, but he has no more borrowed time. He's killed off as well. It's a double kill for V2, and he finds a DD on the exit, so he can look to re-engage. Iceberg does get dragged back.
Completely
but Madara
fine.
unable to find value.
What you gonna do? There's a Slark with plus 188 damage. You better run back. You bought back to run back into the fountain. That's the only plausible reason, because you can't fight him at the moment. perhaps when Puck is up, but by that time, Rosh should be done already. Great fight, by the way, from both of these sides. The setup and the idea was legit, was good by OG Seed. They had that 3-man static storm, they had the cooldown on top of it, they had the whale from Puck and Dreamcoil, but it looked like they used everything to take down Tidehunter, right? And after that, Slark just wipes the floor with him.
Exactly. This Slark is now reaching a point where he's going to be uncontrollable. He almost has the BKB complete now. And you look at Gyro, he just slowed down his own iron progression so much with that buyback. And it's worrying as well, because that means there's going to be another big Ravage play before you have a BKB on Gyro. And that could be the moment where FlyToMoon just breach your base. Oh, and Iceberg wants them to attack him right now. They know he has no Ravage. This is an interesting choice to play coming out from the Tidehunter. The TP in from Viper, and he lasts long enough. He knew he was tanking enough to retreat. Now they have no Dreamcoil to work with.
He also has Aegis, right? So
yeah.
You can't go on
That's
Tide.
why they were savoring the static storm the whole time.
Has crit in the backpack too. I actually want him to lose that Aegis so that he can put the crit in inventory and smack them even harder.
But he's done it now.
Zibe.
He's got it out. He just wants to tap Zibe. Oh, he's stolen Dreamcoil. The irony sets in, and Puck in a little bit of trouble trying to move away the song. They're going to set up for this. They got another static storm. They can connect onto 3 heroes, but they'll only hold 2. They go for the support combo. Iceberg still has no Ravage 28. V2 has to activate the BKB just to get inside. Let me out, he says, but Slayer trying to tank up long enough. Does get Zibe low, but Z-Freak did get out. Iceberg, no mana to even use the Ravage when it's up in 15 seconds. A Shadow Dance to get out. General is waiting in the tree line.
Oh, the
He's
smack!
trying to come them from afar. Oh, Z-Freak. He goes down, buyback will come out, but now, I don't know if you can fight. You don't even want to kill the Tide anymore. He's going to have the Ravage available again.
There's the...
Look at do it. Z-Freak is in for this. Dreamcoil to control him up, but General is still so goddamn healthy. They can't easily kill off the Slark. He can easily back off here.
Iceberg wants to
his
die.
face, but Iceberg, he's like, kill me. Just end my existence, but now you need to retreat. They'll back up.
The moment they killed him, they realized we have to move back. And I believe that Static Storm and that initiation from OG Seed is much better. What I really like about this team is to see how they adapt to every problem that they encounter in a game. Like that Static Storm and the song next to Roshpit wasn't perfect. They lost the fight. They adapt, they change it. They use that Static Storm and the song on supports. They clean up the supports and then the fight is easier if there is any fight afterwards. So we should see them doing that more often from now on. And sadly for OG Seed fans, the odds are not in their favor. 3.32 for OG Seed versus FlyToMoon's 1.30 so far.
I mean, it's not an impossible game for the side of OG Seed to win, but they need to somehow buy a lot of time. That's the point, right? You have this Naga and this Gyro. They are incredibly strong in the late game scenario. But right now, you're running out a map to hide behind, and FlyToMoon already have a 5k net worth lead.
This is that sweet spot that I was talking about when it comes to Naga. You have Banta, you have Diffusal, and you want to do a lot. You want to go and just team fight constantly, but you are unable to because they're stronger. They're 5k ahead, but their heroes do much more with the goal that they've got. This Tidehunter with just the Desolator and the crit is destroying them. That Puck died from 50% HP to 0 by one cleave of Iceberg.
I also just love the way General's playing in the fights as well, right? Like this Viper is so defensive, but he has the Grove Bow and all the range in the world.
It's just that Nether Toxin. That's all he has to do in these team fights. It's so important. He catches Nether Toxin, he catches Abaddon with it, he catches Naga with it. Suddenly they're not nearly as strong as they should be.
Naga's just pushing the spot lane, trying to drag FlyToMoon back to that side of the map. They do want to fight, that they have this Ravage to work with.
You know, they were playing around Iceberg too. They were trying to glimpse him back, but he's just sitting in spot. He doesn't really care. What I'm worried, at least when it comes to FlyToMoon, is that they're going to be ratted by Naga. You can see that he's starting that already. He's starting to pressure these lanes with illusions, and now he ports back when he notices that FlyToMoon is split. V-Tune has to be careful.
Always when Fly go for the TP away, V-Tune will pounce into the tree line, and they realize it's not worth trying.
Oh, V-Tune actually stops TP on top lane. He remains here. There is a relocate possibility. Or he's just going for the bounties. I guess it's just the bounties. He doesn't want to abandon it for nothing.
No, I don't think you want to fight on like this right now. As you said, like Naga has that critical spike. She's almost level 18 as well. Also, by the way, Jara just picked up the Titan Sliver. Good find.
No, that's a good find for him, definitely.
FlyToMoon so far spent so much time on the lanes, so much time pushing in. They've only farmed one of their tier 3 items at this point. It's only been a half a minute, but get in those jungles. Come on.
Yeah, they're just
It's only
fighting.
craggy coat.
I love General's build and his approach to this offlane Viper, position 3 Viper. Vlad's pipe is going for what was that next? I didn't see. Pipe perhaps.
Shivas,
yeah. It's just understands what his teammates need from him in a game such as this one and goes for those items.
Yeah, he just wants to provide control without making himself a liability in the fight. So always stay far away.
Yeah, just control utility. That's pretty much all he has to do. The damage, it's coming from Slark, from the Tide Hunter. He doesn't have to contribute too much in that way, at least.
Speaking of which, Tide also now has a BKB. So that combo you were relying on from the Static Storms to try and control him is no longer there. And Peksu, he's a long way away from an Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, Peksu is far away. He did queue it up. No, Aghanim is queued up by him and Madara. And they're both pretty much, yeah, they're super far away, both of them. Radiance queued up by Viper. I'm not so sure if they necessarily have to deal with the illusions any longer, but when you look at General bottom...
General,
yeah, alright.
They need to deal with it. Good lord.
Definitely they need to. Damn, he disappeared.
I'm not really sure what the plan was there, because it definitely wasn't kill the Naga, as we just saw. They're like, no, just leave her to her own devices. She's scary.
A sad trombone by him.
Both sides having a scary fish on their side at this point in the game. But the Naga, Chessie, he should just have a heat map right now. I'm pretty sure it'd all be Chessie color on this bot lane.
Yeah, he's doing a good thing. He's creep skipping mid lane and at the same time pushing in bottom lane. And when you are playing as Radiant right now, you're just feeling pressured. You want to go back to defend, but if you go back to defend, they fight you on the other side of the map. Zibe,
he's being left alone here. They don't want to assist him. He's got the borrowed time, but he's pounced onto. Locked in, holding that anchor smash, wind up his punching arm. Won't be able to box him out in one hit, but he's going to hunt on. B2 does slow him down again. Needs one more hit and he'll get it.
Instantly back into the tier 1. On the top lane, Rubik did port in. And there's the reload.
Up here, the reload. The steal comes out. It's another fun strike, a little bit extra damage to ensure that Peksu dies. And yeah, you glimpse one away, but you've already lost your hero.
Slark is even saying, all right, thank you. I'm able to push in this top lane now, and I'm not sharing the same side of the map with other of my cores.
Yeah, meanwhile, Aya returns to bot lane. It's like, oh, good. Iceberg, our tower pusher, is in a lane pushing towers. Oh, God,
General.
No, not like this.
He has Ghost. He has Ghost. He's prepared. He adapted. He knows what's up. He's still dead, though.
So coming into assist, the Viper Strike was thrown out, but it's too late. The DD on Chessie just eviscerates. Now they want to punish him. Got the BKB. No songs. TP out for you. Double BKB to ensure the Naga goes down. Rubik's waiting on the side as well, so you can go for the lift play. Gets the steal.
They don't even want to ravage.
Illusions. I mean, they shouldn't have to right now at this rate, though. With the Diffu coming out on each other, it looks like Chessie is just a done deal. The lift is there. The cooldown does not scare them off. 70 seconds without your Naga.
Yeah, they only use the BKB, though. So it will make it a little bit harder for them to push high ground. But there's no ulti from Gyro, there's no ulti from Puck. Shouldn't be too difficult with this big watermelon up front.
I think they're just trying to force the buyback and go Roche, but instead, they're just going to go in deep. Hexu already used the Static Storm, might give his life. B2 missing with a pounce again. The BKB from Madara allows them to zone him away, and Slark, he starts up. Mistakes made! He didn't respect the Abandon, he just goes down so easily, and Iceberg glimpsed away. He has to throw out that Ravage. He'll kill Shibe off, and now there's Dream Call coming out onto the Rubik Illusions. Yep. Free goal for Z3, but nothing else.
A bit of a misplay there by Slark. I said that they didn't have BKBs. He ran in without that BKB. He got silenced and
he just didn't respect the silence. That was very odd. I mean, you can see it ticking up over your head.
In that situation, if he survives and he's able to turn, that could be a side. Like, they could just completely start dominating this game. Not like they aren't already, but they could just put that last nail into the coffin. Sadly, he just gets silenced by the passive of Abaddon and dies. Sadly for him, that is.
Now Roche is up. You're a little bit more hesitant now that Naga is alive again, has the song to work with. They'll have the Dream Call again.
You think they just want...
I think you have to be.
Yeah, they should be. But I have a feeling they might just go straight in. Once they're all up, that is.
I mean, you do have the BKBs. It's just you no longer have the Ravage to work around for 90 more seconds. They will soon have the Daedalus complete on Iceberg. There it is. He's made the purchase. We are approaching a stage where if you die without buyback as a level 22 Tide, rather, you could lose a side, though.
You could. Naga also just finished off her butterfly, so she's hitting quite hard. Not like she wasn't already, but she's even stronger. Gets out.
Yep. A little bit of butt clenching moment there as Viper barely makes his escape.
In the nick of time there. Disruptor is moving closer and closer towards his Aghanim still. Has that point booster, needs 2 more items pretty much, and he's got it.
Meanwhile, in the pit, this Roche won't take too long, not with Slark and the Tide giving so much minus armor.
Yeah,
his own right click's being
they also
formidable.
have that mango tree that grows in the rocks pretty much. To check out.
You know, the world's a harsh place. The mangoes, they're hard to come by. You have to adapt or you die.
He has Daedalus. This Tide Hunter can crit you for your life right now.
So his idea of adapting or dying is if everyone else is dead first, I don't really need to worry about dying.
Exactly. They are damaging this tier 3 on the bottom lane. These Naga illusions are just pretty much destroying the tower.
Yeah, I think General's priority is wrong here.
He just can't kill the illusions, that's the problem. That's why he's going for the party.
B2's chasing Chessie. Chessie just used the song as well. We can't afford to go down like this. Pounce off the mark. The Pathfinder working against V2.
Oh, the sleep!
But the stolen song. Slayer's like, SingStar 2020, I take victory.
Disruptor on the bottom lane as well. Viper might find him, but he should be able to
not
TP
enough
out,
damage.
right? Yeah, not enough damage. He TPs away, but Naga does not manage to do that. And now you have Aegis. You also have Naga down. There's no sleep. You have Ravage. You're ready to push.
Right. At least Z-Bay should have spotted that there was a ward for Viper in the mid lane as he TP'd across. He's just trying to find an additional kill that makes it so easy to go in the base. Naga at least has buyback again, but no song to work with makes it a little bit troublesome.
Iceberg.
Glimpse. You know, BKB is not actually going to try it. I thought he might just go in BKB. That was probably the best play you can make.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to BKB here too. You're right. If he gets glimpsed, he gets glimpsed. There's Wisp to save him. And they don't really have the damage necessary to just take him down instantly. So he could have perhaps played around that BKB a bit better.
Feels like you just get punished if you hang here now as well.
Yep. There's the repair kit as well coming into play. Such a broken item, I swear. That item is just ridiculous. It's just stupid strong.
It's pretty hilarious. I love that they gave it an adorable animation finally, so you can at least tell when you're being beating the crap out of.
Has only one.
B2's winning.
Z-Bay.
Z-Bay's losing a lot of health. Pounce comes out. Borrowed time already used. Z-Freak trying to zone them away, but reinforcements come in general. Always present with the boots to travel. They get out. Over. B2 goes in.
E-Blade.
Yeah. They're holding that Ravage. Ice Perk, he was thinking about him. He knows the BKB is available on Madara.
Has cheese to work with, by the way, so he isn't too afraid of this.
He has no BKB. It's come off cooldown in 1 second, though, so they don't want to hard aggress this. It could backfire very quickly. Jump in. He is. Dara is getting mighty tempted. B2 will move away in time. Lift to stun them up a little bit.
That heal.
Big heal.
Oh, that's
Who
so
needs to use this cheese? That's just for the mana.
That's so much fun. Tide Hunter, the right click is so much fun to play. Jesus.
You know what I love seeing Tide right click against your meepos. That's the good time.
Yeah.
They just jump you. You heal from 10% HP to full. You feel good. They feel bad and half dead. But it's especially effective in this type of game right against the Naga. You mentioned it would melt the illusions later, but also just sustains you so easily because of all that AoE heal.
If you're OG Seed right now in a situation that you are, you have to start sending these illusions and creep skipping. You have to get out of the base with Naga. But the problem is every time he managed to get out, he died eventually. They picked him off. They caught him. So he's not really having the best time doing that.
And now they think they're picking off General, but look at this. They just jump in. Chessie's stunned for so long. They have the BKB as well, so he has no easy escape. Forced off to get him out. He's hiding in the corner, though, and IO sees everything. And the Dark Pack is enough damage to kill her off. Z-Bay now needs to run for the high hills. Their Ravage is going to come out. BKB from Madara allows him to get out alive. But Z-Bay, no escape for him. This Abaddon is going down.
so many stacks on Slark now, and he goes straight for the tier 2, straight for the high ground, I believe. Nothing stopping them. And you see that they try to get out of their base with that
you
Naga.
can see the Z-Freak is hanging around like he wants to cut the wave, but they know it's coming, and they still have creeps healthy. Up to the high ground they go.
Rubik did catch him, actually. He found him.
Yep. Z-Freak's like, no, I found you, but then he realizes Viper hung around, the E-Blade snipes him down. And you don't blame Naga for not buying back here. What would you do with it? You don't have this song available.
There's the buyback from Puck, though.
Badar has no BKB. They forced the buyback. All right, see you later. Good talk.
Those Greaves from Always Wanna Fly as well coming into play, healing them both up instantly. And now after taking down bottom Raxes, they go straight down mid.
These illusions aren't looking so tanky either. They've just been melted through. Naga can't slow it down.
There's no buyback on him.
He's just gone. No buyback either. And now look at the side. Gyro. He's just dead. No BKB. He'll have to buy back. All right. This is getting messy. Static Storm comes out on the IO.
Wasted.
But V2's already in. He's looking for the kill to Petsu. The Shadow Dance, the chase forward on the chest. They're turning, trying to kill off IO. Quick enough, but Nadara, he's done too quick. It's a triple kill already. Borrow time's going to come out. IO should be walled down, but protected. He's going to stay alive instead. Chessie's the one who falls. And there might be a rampage to end the game and end the finals. As FlyToMoon take the game and take the tournament.
Yeah, and in what style as well. They struggled against Nemiga. They took it to 3 games, but versus these fiercer opponents, let's call them that way, OG Seed, they just managed to do it in 2 games, and they managed to do it with Slark in both of those games. Vitium was a beast. Iceberg, yeah, he was on point with his plays. That Tide Hunter was definitely going out of control. With the Desolator, Daedalus just one-shotting heroes on the side of OG Seed, but Slark, he's the one that carried them, and perhaps OG Seed should have banned out that Slark in game 2. What do you think?
I think that I don't know if I'd say that that's like where the problems are definitive in their draft, right? In this game, like you look at the way that puck was picked. I think like this was just an odd game. Well, not like odd's the wrong word. Like it was a peculiar game because usually you see teams just like think about how they can amplify their own draft, and both teams at points were kind of overcompensating the counter picks. And it just felt like when you looked back at the entire draft, it was a much clearer game plan for FlyToMoon on the laning phase, whereas OG Seed were kind of a question mark in 2 of the lanes.
Yeah, but that's because they have General, right? Whatever you give him on that off lane, he's going to play.
General was very flexible. Being able to play that Viper in the off lane was huge.
Give him position 3 Wisp, he's going to play it. They gave him that Viper and he delivered. Not only did he just play it, you know, and then feed a couple of times, he played it well. His itemization was on point too. That E-Blade in the end, letting him survive a couple of extra seconds against that Naga so that his teammates can follow up and take her down. Like I just liked how that guy plays. Like that first game as well. What was that? Clockwork with 4 bracers? Maybe not in this series, in the last one. General today went Clockwork and bought 4 bracers and still won. This guy is just a beast. Enjoyable.
Don't forget the Blade Mail, right? An item that you don't really see be impactful these days. It's a very hard item to justify since they nerfed it. And yeah. General definitely feels, I think it's fair to say he's the standout guy in this tournament. Like, you see flashy plays from Iceberg and V2 in this winning team, but General just seems, well, in general, the staple, right? Like, they're all the pieces of paper, and he just slam them together on the clipboard.
Yeah, you have to use that pun, right? That's it.
Hey, you know, sometimes I end up on these words. It just happens. And sometimes FlyToMoon just cruise for a grand final and don't give OG Seed a chance to breathe.
In any case, guys, big thank you from me, from Killer Pigeon, and the Maincast crew for tuning in to this grand finals and the whole tournament of Winter Brawl, the first tournament of 2020. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been Lizard. With me, the magical ghost who talks from thin air was Killer Pigeon. Till next time. Bye-bye.
See you, folks.